cloud. Okay, so today's officially day 5 of our energy expansion quest. We've been talking with Trisha about her project for 2020. And I wanted to move into just kind of summarizing everything we've covered up to this point. We've gone from the place of uncovering what our core stories that are stopping us currently have been. And people have shared some amazing past stories. And then we went on to doing our forgiveness letters, right? I've seen some people post their letters that they actually wrote out and burned. That's always a very liberating type of experience. And then we moved on to really starting to listen to our bodies, right? Whether it's through breath work that we can do to let go of things, or even the use of pendulums, which was one of the things we went over, and how to use them to get yes or no type answers, whether it's for food, a job, or whatever is going on with our bodies. And then we've transitioned into the first part yesterday on creating a plan for 2020, right? But creating a plan with starting with the end in mind. And that's kind of where we are now. Today, I'm going over, hey, how do we further develop this? Now that you know what you want to accomplish for 2020, the project that you want to take on, how do we break this down with metrics? Meaning, what are the numbers behind this? Starting with the end, meaning December of 2020, and then going to November, October, and so forth. I'd like to now, I've shared some of the success stories that clients have experienced. Since I didn't have the record button, I'm going to say, you know, the last client that I can think of that I really, really loved her story. She used to do eyelashes and hair extensions. Her name is Maria. She worked with me a little over a year ago. And when we first met, her passion for helping women who had alopecia, meaning women that were losing their hair, her passion for helping women just feel beautiful again is what kept her in this side hustle. But when she came, she realized that she lacked clarity and she lacked confidence. And I only say that she lacked those things because in her exit interview with me, the things that she shared were that she had gained confidence, the confidence she needed to do the stuff, right? She by far has been the type of student that to the T did everything we created in her business plan. She's now gone on to have her own spa. It's not a wellness spa, it's a beauty spa with an emphasis on really helping women that have been challenged feeling beautiful find that beauty in themselves again. She does a lot of what's known as body sculpting. She still does the lashes, but now she has a team of people that help her in her salon or spa. I should call it a day spa. And she said to me, gosh, I think it was like in May of this year, we met up and she goes, Kaya, I make more money in a month than I would make in a year in my business. That lit me up because I was like, wow, if I can help more men and women realize their dream of their businesses to this level, what freedom does that give them? Since my theme this year is freedom, that's the place that I've been listening from. Okay, I see Crystal jumped on. I'm so glad, Crystal, that you were able to get on. I'm going to unmute you for a second.
How are you?
I am doing great now that I'm up.
Now
that I'm up, my child said good morning to me at 3 in the afternoon today. I did wake up early in the morning because I thought I was going to go to the office, and apparently that was not in the plans for today. And then I put on my headphones and I listened to about 5 hours of training from one of my mentors, and then finally got out of bed, and she's like, good morning, because she hadn't seen me all day. I was in my room. Okay, so I saw you did some amazing work the last couple of hours.
I know. I decide, like, I don't know. My life's been chaos, so I try to throw in what I can when I can. The kids trump everything, so it's hard because they're still little. They're 6 and 2.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get it. I get it.
I did finish my vision board. I don't know if you want to see it real quick.
Absolutely. Here, we'll turn on there you go.
I have no idea how to switch this around, so I'm just going to switch my phone.
Oh, lovely. Love it. I see travel all over the place there.
It came from a travel magazine. That's all I had.
Okay.
That's all I needed.
Okay.
So I did. Me and my husband have not gone on our honeymoon. We've been married probably 3 years now, and we need time to like have fun. So I started out with all that, places to go. I wanted to expand on like having more time with friends and making friends, having time together. Tell me if you guys can see it or not.
Yeah.
Okay. I added this because it reminds me of my daughter. She's a big bookworm. I want to learn. I want to teach. I want to help with her and myself. I put these for harnessing and use my intuition and premonitions for the greater good of all things. I do face painting. This is kind of like my business area where I want to expand more because it's got, I guess, for what I'm doing right now with face painting is kind of like lays under circus type thing. Plus, I like to hula hoop and teach people how to exercise through movement.
Okay.
Hula hoop. So, like, I want to tie in fun things and activities, have a better interaction, appeal, and abilities in my business. Of course, create because I do art in whatever I do. She's kind of just me calling out for this stuff.
Love it.
And
Great.
reconnect to spirit, rejuvenate self, quiet time to prioritize and flourish, rejuvenate life, just the world in general, and help all that with reconnecting spirit and all. And then this is like not the house I want or anything, but it's like a strong foundation to pass on to my children, have love, best connection with our children, clear understanding and communication with all of us, and a good home in the right place. So, yeah, I threw that all.
Great work. So tell me a little bit about your vision for your business in 2020.
See, that like falls under like I need more clarity of what it is I need to do. Like I want to be able to make it more memorable with people because I have the tendency to like I'm pretty shy and quiet and I get hyper focused. So when I'm painting, like talking is not like you can tell right now I'm very hesitant. Like it's all in here and it doesn't want to spit out, right? So I'm just want to get better at being more interactive with my customers and leaving a better lasting impression and having them want to come back, or I mean, I do get customers that like they see me again, they're like, oh, I'm happy you're here. Like they really like my work and they return. But like as a birthday entertainer, I guess it's different than how I am out on the field when I'm used to I used to work in retail, so I'm used to like constant people changing out, which I think is why I'm a little more suited in my personality being outgoing when I'm out at events versus when I'm tucked in a corner at home,
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to I feel like I'm lacking in something, and I'm not sure if it's communicating while I'm working because it's hard for me to separate what I'm doing and having a conversation at the same time.
So tell me, okay, so let's brainstorm a little bit because part of yesterday and today is really about developing your plan for 2020, right?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to were you on the call yesterday? I
I
can't
don't
remember.
know.
You weren't on the call yesterday. You were on there the day before. Okay. So yesterday we went through imagining that it's December 2020 and what would your business look like? How much money is it making? How many employees? What are you doing? What events have happened? That kind of stuff. So let's take a step back because one of the things we did yesterday was identify what are your gift, talents, and superpowers.
Gifts, talents, and superpower. Gifts would be my intuition and my empathy. Like I'm empathetic and I get premonitions. Like, and I'm pretty intuitive to things, and I want to get clarity to that, but sorry. I don't know. I just want to, I'm not looking for like a blast off into like a big business, but I want to be able to maintain and help extend
How much do you want your business to make a month?
Ooh. I think I could average about 3,000 to 4,000 if I do it right.
Okay. So forget the what you think you could average, like literally. So listen to the question again. How much would you like it to make a month?
In a physical number? All right.
So I'll give you an example with me. My business averages about $10,000 a month, right? That's my average. I would like to be making $20,000 a month.
Well, let's go with that because I haven't been able to sit down to do the math, and that's another thing I want to work on is like knowing where my money is going out in the business and where it's coming in and what I even have to play with. Like I don't have any of that laid out right yet. Like I've been working at this business for a long period of time with little ability to like put into it. So
do you work this as like your side hustle and you have another job? Is this your main thing that you make money in?
It's my main thing I make money in, but like I know I can do a lot of different things, but I've been trying not to be a jack of all trades and master at none. So like this was kind of I want to focus this as a mash.
So so tell me exactly, we're going to take it in a different direction. Tell me, what is the service that you provide? So I'm meeting you for the first time. What is it that you do, Crystal?
Face paint, and I do birthday parties, belly paintings, holiday events like Halloween.
Did you say belly painting?
Yeah, like for baby bellies.
Okay.
So, yeah, I paint like body art. And I'll do birthday parties or I do events at corporation events, fundraisers, just regular pop-up vendor.
So the service falls under body art and you do belly painting and face painting. I think those are the two areas you focus on.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the way you've been doing it is through, you said events?
Yes.
These are corporate and parties, private parties.
Private parties or events in like corporations or businesses themselves, like if they have a grand opening and they want a face painter to come or.
And do you charge per event? Do you charge per hour? Do you charge per person? How are you charging right now?
Per hour.
Okay, and what are you billing per hour?
100 for an hour. If it's a corporation event where like a lot of people are coming through, then it's like 125 for the first hour and then 100 after that. So it's all hourly based.
And
if I go out where it's just I pay for a spot kind of thing, then I just make whatever I make in for that time I'm out there by the people.
Do you make more when you go do the private parties or when you go do public events?
Probably public events. Like I could
Okay.
probably make as much at my public events as I do if I got maybe a few parties in a day.
Okay. And do you have a list of public events you've done well at versus ones that didn't go so well?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been doing this?
I started as a business in 2013.
Okay. Okay. And what is the most you've made in your business since 2013 for the year?
I haven't even been able to calculate that because it's so far and few between of when I do events and like when I get calls. And I feel like not being from the area kind of hinders me because I don't have that many outlets or communication with other people around to like get my name out there in that way.
Okay. So let's do some numbers. Wait a second. I just dropped the lid to my marker and my OCD is not going to let me leave it on the floor.
I'm OCD too.
Only with certain things. Certain things drive me bonkers. Okay, so let's see here. Let me just check in with Trisha to give me a sec here. Trisha, I just want to make sure that this is helpful for you also, so that I can focus.
I am.
Okay.
I'm working on my clothes for tomorrow at work.
Okay. Okay. So I really wish Dion would get on the call because we started working with Dion yesterday.
Maybe. I'll be right back.
Okay. Taking a pause.
I love your idea, Crystal. Just saying.
What? It says she loves your idea. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, Crystal. We're gonna figure out. I call it figuring out what your need, your want, and your desire is, right? So I've done this a couple of different ways. One is literally like, if you don't make this much money per month, you're going to be out in the street. It sounds like with you, your household income isn't fully dependent on you. Is that correct?
Right. My husband does most of the work, but he works like 6-7 days a week.
Yeah. And
He
so
tells me not to worry about it, but I'm like, I want to have that contribution
yeah.
to the house to lessen his load. You know what I mean? So it's not as chaotic as it's been.
Yeah, and I hear, and what I saw on your vision board and what I heard from you was like, hey, I want to do more fun things with my husband, and I want to have some of this free time. I want us to have our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Right? So let's just write this down. So what would you say your household need is? So if you were to put a dollar amount on how much you need, not that you need to bring into the household, but hey, if my husband and I don't make this much money, then we're going to be out on the street. So what's that baseline?
Somewhere between 30 and 60,000, I guess, in the year.
For the year? So let's say 60.
Who knows? I could be shooting myself in the foot for sure.
It's okay. So I'm going to invite you to start to get curious about the numbers, because there's something that has you go, because I've asked you a couple of questions around numbers and you're like, I don't know, right?
My math sucks.
Sorry?
I said my math sucks.
That's a story. by the way. We all like have stories around everything. So here's what I want to invite you to get curious about the numbers, literally. Like, how much money are we spending on certain things? What's our budget? How much money is actually coming in? If we were going to take a honeymoon, how much money is that going to cost? There's something that has you not get intimate with the numbers. And
Well, I just had a discussion with my husband last night that we need to sit and prioritize and categorize. I'm very like organized. Like I have OCD too. So it's like I need to know what I'm doing, where I'm going, like at least to have the idea. Not that it's gonna always happen the way I want it to or planned it out or whatever, but just to at least have a reason of what I'm doing that day, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like we need that forward focus. And we've been having a hard time with like getting categorizing everything and prioritizing it.
Okay, so I'm gonna round it to 50,000. You said it was between 30 and 60. That's a big range. So I'm just gonna pick 50 just for the sake of the exercise.
Okay.
Your homework's gonna be to go find these numbers out.
Okay.
But let's say that's the need is 50,000. That puts you at $4,166 a month. Okay, and now let's say your want. So how much would you like to add to the 50,000 as your base as a want? So like if I could make this would give us that freedom to travel. We'd be comfortable. We'd be doing more things that I want to do. What do you think that dollar amount would be?
I guess another 50,000 to equivalent like
100,000.
What we need and what we want are covered.
Yeah. Okay. And now if you were to think, man, this is the craziest, outrageous thing I can think of money-wise, how much money would it be per year?
Oh, I want 150,000. No. Sure.
It's a
Let's
good number.
do it. 150,000. Why not?
150. Okay. And for each of us, it's different. I don't know if you watched any of the live streams when I was talking about money, but the highest income I've ever hit was a little over $1 million. My average has always been around 90,000. And then my need is right now at 8,000, but I round it to 10 because that's about like, I feel like I can breathe at 10,000. So all of us
higher in case you don't hit that goal, right? That's how I think of it. Like,
yeah, so I always put mine as like I'm shooting for 10,000, right? And if I do 8, great. If I do 12, because sometimes it's over, sometimes it's under. All right, so at 100,000, and a lot of times what it is we haven't stopped long enough to break the numbers down to realize how much we need to make per month, per day, per week kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So at 100,000, that would be 8,333 a month. And 150, that's 12,500 per month. I just heard a story recently. One of the people that I follow, she's getting back into being a coach, and she was sharing the story in her email that she struggled for years. She was following everybody's system to try to get coaching clients, right? And she just wasn't landing any coaching clients. And she'd been doing it for about 3 or 4 years. And her husband was the main income earner. And that she started to do things differently following her intuition, right? And she closed her first one-on-one client. And she says that day her husband called her and said, somebody hacked our bank account. And she said, why do you say that? He says, there's an extra $12,500, I kid you not, $12,500 in our bank account. And she said, nobody hacked our account. I closed my first one-on-one client. And then he said, oh, congratulations. I guess we'll talk about it later, because she was at work. She still had a day job, and she was working on her side hustle, which was her coaching practice. Totally doable. When I see numbers, especially numbers I know I've hit before or people that I know have hit, when I see them, I'm like, right on. I know this is possible. I know this is doable. Okay. So hopefully you go back and you write these numbers down, but I want you to find your actual, you and your husband figure out like how much is it that you made, and you can look at your taxes, right? How much did you bring home last year, the year before? Look at least 3 to 4 years and then average that out. And then you'll get your average income per year from that. And then you can figure out how much it is you guys actually need to make per month.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go from there. Some people double their amount. Some people just throw a number out there. Like for me, if I did $2 million in business, I'd be like ecstatic because I haven't done that in about a decade. Literally, I was 25 the first time that we did over $1 million in real estate, right? And this is,
Wow.
and so I've been in different industries, and then I found what I really love doing, and teaching has been one of them. Okay, so once you figure out your numbers, you literally are gonna reverse engineer and create what's known as a package. So instead of you billing per hour, I want you to start to think about a couple of things. One, if you could offer a package, even if it meant you did something additional or it meant you brought someone else in, what would that package be called? And what would you be offering inside of that package? You want to move away from thinking hour to hour. The only people that think hourly rates have an employee mentality. You're a business owner, woman. You're not an employee. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's a learning curve for me because even in my system of like talking to the vendors, I'm not really a vendor. I'm a service. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So let's figure out first, this is your part of your step one on the homework, right? Step two is going to be, which is what we're getting into today, is packaging your services. And what does that look like? I'll take it to my, I'll give you 2 examples, right? In my wellness practice, we have what's called Jumpstart Your Recovery. And Jumpstart Your Recovery includes in it a series of tips for reducing inflammation in the body, right? It gives them a list of tools that they can purchase for self-care at home. It gives them a number of sessions with me and a number of sessions with one of my assistants. And then they have access to me during those 6, and it's a 6-week long program. And they have access to me during those 6 weeks via messaging me or sending me emails. Okay. And I packaged all that together and I sell it for $950.
Okay.
Which is pretty cheap when I break down what each one of those things would cost if they paid for it individually. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then I've taken out the idea of, hey, when you come to me, I'm just charging you per session. No, I'm selling you a premium package.
Right.
I want you to start.
Yeah, that's where I've been like trying to gear towards, because like I have regular face paint that you would have during like majority of the year. It's getting warmer, which is why I've moved on and I live in a hot climate, to like waterproof based paint.
Mm-hmm.
So I have those as different options in themselves, and then the possibility of like, which is why I put the little carousel and stuff, adding activities, like if I could offer bounce houses, or I could offer other things out there creatively.
So start to think about what is the experience you want to create, either for the, and I hate to say it this way, but you got to pick, what are you going to be an expert in, right? Like I chose to be an expert in pain management. The minute I got laser focused on that, that's what I was doing, then I was able to charge more for my services than the average therapist around. The average therapist in my area that does massage work, they charge $60, okay? By me packaging my service, depending on the package they choose, I'm making anywhere from $950 to $2,000 for a couple of weeks worth of work, which I'm now at the level of what a chiropractor or a physical therapist would be charging.
Right. That's what I want to get with I think my hyper focus is the art. I mean, because that's the basis of it all. So I want to make sure I'm coming and giving clean work, which is also why I senior so much into.
So to who though? To who? So I have a friend in the entertainment world he was my boyfriend in junior high, and he's a magician. He's now a professional magician. I ran into him at downtown Disney. He works for Disney.
Cool.
Performing magic. So here's someone I met when we were 13, 14, whose passion and love was magic and entertaining people, but was very shy, right? Like in his world, he was an introvert. I love it when introverts tell me they're shy, but then they want to go do these things that require them to put on a different personality.
That's me. I'm pretty quiet and to myself, but I mean, I like people. I don't always initiate the conversation. I talk to anybody who will talk, and I'll listen, but I'm very just an observer.
So he dubbed himself Wacko the Clown, and he specializes in balloons. Like he's been on TV because he'll make full outfits out of balloons.
Awesome.
And then he has a couple of tricks he's known for that he developed himself, right?
Cool.
And when I saw him, I asked him about his marriage and everything, and then he goes, you know what? I'm finally 40, and I'm living the best time of my life. I'm doing exactly what I was here to do.
Right.
And you could just feel it, right? Like you can feel when people are doing what they're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
So there's something, Crystal, that's still holding you back. And I'm just going to say, hey, chances are it's a past story of something. But we've been talking about that all week. And what I invite you to do around that is just be aware, like literally check in. The minute you go, oh, I'm shy. Oh, but I don't know a lot of people in the area. Oh, those are just things that I don't want to say that they're excuses because they're valid. Okay.
They're hindering me.
However, you buy into that that's the reason that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I need to let that go. That's what I burnt in the letter.
Hey, okay, so we want to practice. We want to practice continuously letting that go. So part one is going to be you go figure out what your need, want, and desire is financially based on actual numbers, okay? And then once you figure out what the numbers are monthly, then you can say, okay, I'm going to create a premium package, and you decide, Crystal, how many events do you want to do a month, right? So let's say at the $12,500 mark, your desired income, what would it be like if you got hired for a private party and they paid you $5,000 to be there?
I'd feel like I'm taking too much.
Ah, okay.
I know. That's the same thing that I got paid more than I was there to be paid for. And I was just like, my jaw dropped, and he kept telling me, I was like, I can't take this. He's like, you take it. He's like, you undercut yourself. Yeah. And I'm like, I know. And I took it.
So Crystal,
me because I feel like, I don't know why I feel that way, honestly. I don't.
It's around our programming of I don't deserve. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. It really is. It's going to go back to your core story, beautiful.
Yeah.
The first time a client paid me $3,000 a month to coach him, literally my brain went, you just got lucky.
Right.
That was my
That's what it's been ever since, kind of. I've gotten tipped pretty good, but that was like the biggest tip I had. And after that, I expelled that ember, that could have grown into more. And I keep trying to tell myself to switch my brain.
So I want you to go research other entertainers, right? Other artists specifically that do the thing you're wanting to do. And I want you to research from if they do corporate events, if you see their prices, see how much it is they're charging. This part I'm telling you, the second part was very eye-opening for Dion. I really wish she would get on because I wanted to talk to her a little more about her project. But Dion realized yesterday that she needs to make $6,000 a month in order to provide for her family.
Mhm.
And the big aha was her biggest fear is losing the job she has. She has stage 3 colon cancer. And she's not able to do the work at the level she was doing it before she got sick. Yet here she is worried that this is her main source of income. Had never thought about what would it be like if I consulted on my own. She posted in the group. She goes, I don't remember if she said my big aha or, oh no, she wrote, I didn't know. She didn't know that there are other people doing that same kind of work, charging $5,000 per project to $15,000 per project.
Right.
Right? There are people that for this that we're doing right now charge $10,000. And I know them that will say, I charge $10,000 to do a strategy session with a client. Me, I'll tell you, my thermostat, because I've talked about us having a money thermostat, my money thermostat goes $10,000 for a strategy session. Shit, that's a lot. However, I know that I've done strategy sessions with clients that have built them $1 million businesses, right? So it's all on what is the perception of what we believe we're worth and what are we comfortable with. I'm comfortable charging $5,000 a month now. I wasn't
Well,
before.
I was really low when I started, and I went up because I do believe my quality of work for what is around is worth what I'm charging. But like, I also think about the economy I'm in and what is really obtainable.
So those all live inside the world of quote unquote reality, right? Like the reality we've constructed. That's the reality you've been programmed to believe. Okay? I'm telling you, Crystal, go do the research. Go see. If you want to compare, go compare with the world, right? But when you come back, at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with the dollar amount that you're going to charge. What I want to see a shift in is let go of this idea that you're charging per hour and you're charging per experience, and give your experience a title and narrow down a little more who it is you're serving.
Okay.
Okay. Are you serving companies specifically, or are you going to focus on serving private parties? Are you going to focus on birthdays? And if so, what's the theme of what you're offering? Okay, so I have 2 offerings in the online world space. There's me with the branding of, hey, I'm a mom healer entrepreneur doing the spiritual intuitive coaching, what we're doing. And then there's my Spanish brand that just focuses on women who are Latinas who have a hard time with the technology to get their businesses online.
Okay.
2 different people. But I do offer both things. So I don't want you to think that once you narrow it down, you're going, hey, I only do this. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay.
It's like my disconnection too has been like, I go out for the kids, like putting happiness out there for the children, because here there's been a lack of, from what I've seen around looking for my own kids, you know, and where I've grown up so used to there being a lot more, that like I'm not engaged with the parents and the party as much as I'm focused on the kid and that they're happy with the outcome of what I'm doing, and like pass
Tell me a
on
little
what they
bit.
want to creating.
Tell me a little bit about the person that was giving you the extra money. What are some of the things that they told you other than you're undercutting yourself? Tell me a little bit about that experience. Was it a kid's party? What was it?
It was a birthday party for their daughter. It was her first birthday. So I went and met her cousins and friends and stuff at their house inside, like at the kitchen inside. It was kind of like a little intimate party. It wasn't a big old theme or anything crazy. She was just a little.
And what made it so special for them that he went out of his way to give you extra money?
I don't know if it was like, because when I first met them, I was out at an event, and then they had asked me to come to them, and like they just liked the way that I interacted with their daughter and was able to like be able to even paint her. Like I get that a lot, even with this little boy. I don't know if he was autistic or he might have been, but he doesn't engage with people. And so the grandma was like, well, he was pointing at it and he wanted it, but I don't even know if he'll sit for you. So like I was able to talk to him just fine and get him to get both arms painted and designs that were at that time were pretty difficult for me to even do. And they were like happy about that. And I think that like, because I have better communication with kids than I do with adults, that like drew me into like them wanting me around their daughter, you know, to like provide this.
So Crystal, would I'm hearing this and I'm just going to put it out there. You've heard of crystal children, right?
Yeah, my mom tells me I'm an indigo child. I've been trying to figure out which one I fall under like the last couple days actually.
So I'm not hearing that you fall under, part of your hesitation is there isn't one specific you fall under, but what it is that you've been called to work with those kind of children. Our rainbow children, our indigos, our crystal children.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense?
I guess so.
She's like, oh. Well, that's part of the reason, like the minute you start talking about these children, there's this heart connection that occurs for you.
Yeah.
Right? And it isn't even what you're saying to them, it's that they get what's coming through you.
Right.
So start to think about using some of that language inside of your marketing. I want you to leave this idea that who you are is someone that paints faces, because you're doing much more than that.
Right. That's why I want to do it, is because I don't want kids to look at the world as adults do once adults get to that grim time in their like vision of life, where I want them to keep that spark of knowing that they can do whatever they want, even if it's just painting like I am, because you know I'm not the greatest artist, I'm not the worst, but you know what I mean, like I don't want them to feel limited like I feel limited either.
Yeah. So here's the last part of your exercise. So far I've told you part of your homework is going to be to go figure out what your need, want, and desire is, and that goes for everyone. I should write this down because I did not put the units up yesterday. There, I got a sticky here. So unit 4 was the 2020 plan. And then today will be unit 5. Need, want, desire. Okay. And then, so you're going to do that, need, want, desire. You're going to go research people that are doing that thing you're telling me you want to do.
Okay.
Okay. And in your research, what you're looking for are cost. What are some of the skills that they've mentioned in their pages, right? Gift, talent, superpower, skills, right? You're also looking for what is it that you like that they're putting on their pages? Is it the colors? Is it the words they're saying? Is it the imagery? Whatever it is. Because you're going to start to compile what you would want you to put out into the world. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
Okay. And then we're doing our Q&A session tomorrow, but I'm using tomorrow as a bonus session to get everyone to a place where they can fine tune their offering, right? Like we're doing right now with you. I'm sending you off to do this research, money-wise, people that are doing this stuff also. And then tomorrow we'll talk more about how do we package this, right? How is it that some people are able to say, hey, I charge $10,000 per party or per event versus, oh, I charge $120 an hour, right? It's two different worlds.
Right.
All right. Any questions?
No, I just need to start working.
All right, perfect. Let me check in with Linda. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
All right, Linda, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Happy New Year, love.
Thank you. Happy New Year's to you too. So I'm glad that you're on. We didn't get to talk a whole lot yesterday. I had to rush to go to a dinner party. We didn't start eating dinner till about 8 o'clock. We waited like almost 3 hours to be seated. It was crazy.
You must have been hungry.
Oh, I was by the time food came.
Yep.
It was all good. It was good. It was a nice night. All right, Linda, so did you get a chance to work on your 2020 plan? Did you rewatch the replay or?
No, how do I watch the replay? I've been able to catch you on YouTube, but I didn't see that you had uploaded it, so I wasn't able to see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to see a replay.
Yeah, so since we're streaming directly to the group, the video is on there. What I'll do is I'll tag you on the video, and then Mawish, my admin, will add. If she hasn't already added yesterday's video, I'll make sure that she puts that on there, and then today's video also. So let's talk a little bit about 2020 then, December 2020. You heard me. I think it's your daughter, right?
Yes, Crystal.
So it'll be a similar exercise for you. You're going to figure out what your need, want, and desire is financially.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's talk a little bit about yesterday's exercise, which was the 2020 plan. And in there, you want to write out in words what you will have accomplished by December of 2020. For 2020. So for the end of the year. So you write your description. Trisha did a great job where she started to write it out. And it starts with the statement, I have, or we have, right? So
yes.
You imagine that it's December 31st of 2020. What have you accomplished inside of your business? How much money is it making? How many events? How many people are working with you? Inventory, right? Since you have crystals that you do the crystal stuff, right?
Yes.
How much inventory you have. So anything that you can measure with numbers is what we're wanting you to write out, along with the experience. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, with that
I had a question though, because I know that you're working. I don't know if this as recent that you're dealing with the situation. Your health is kind of interfering with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a problem, with that. The reason I even decided to go and have a business was to work around my body's needs. Like if I would rather be on call, or have the freedom to say, not today. It's not, I can't, we need to reschedule because I need to honor the fact that I'm in healing mode. And sometimes that means I can't, be present someplace else.
Yeah. So a couple of things that have worked for me, Linda, has been I recently hired 2 interns in my wellness practice. And so I've informed my clients, hey, I'm going through some health challenges that are new and I need some time to adjust and figure things out for myself. And that's really what's happening. And so I'm introducing my clients to the 2 interns that I hired. All right.
Okay.
I don't want to close my wellness practice. It's been my baby for 20 years.
Okay.
And yes, I'm being called to make changes. And I had a heart-to-heart talk with both my body and God. And I was like, okay, here's why I like being able to do the work when I do it. And here's what I don't like. And here's what I would like to change. And then I just sat and listened. And literally, and I'll say it this way, God sent me these 2 loving, amazing young girls who are getting ready to finish massage school who want to be taught and mentored. They're not happy with their schooling experience. They don't feel that they're prepared to go do the work that they went to school to learn to do. And a lot of it comes with practice. So it just worked out that I hired them as interns, and I'll be training them. And my goal is, I wrote it out, that by February they would be full-time, and that they'd be seeing 5 clients a day.
That's amazing.
So you just want to create, like Linda, what I'm telling you, you get to create your business the way you want to. You know, things that come to mind are, if you have an event, make sure you have an assistant or you have a manager in place.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's important. I agree. But I kind of have, I don't know, I'm like a master, but you're none.
You're cutting in and out a bit,
I
Linda.
also,
Can you repeat that again?
I said, you know, I feel like I'm a jack of all trades, but master of none.
Okay. So we want to get you to a
Because
place
I
where you
have,
narrow it down, Linda.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm also, you know, I do the intuitive work plus the crystal work, and it just seems like a lot of cons. Like, how do I incorporate all of that?
So do you want to continue to do the intuitive work?
I want to continue developing, yes, my intuitive gifts. I have, you know, I haven't actually like done anything too elaborate in that area.
Okay. So here again, tomorrow we're going to be talking more about packaging, right? So I want you to start to think of, if I had a package experience, right? Think of it from an experience point of view. If I had an experience I was selling people to be involved in, what would I be doing? What would they be experiencing? So for me, the way this looks
Yeah.
like, as a coach and consultant, I have a group program, right? Which is one of the things that I'm going to invite all of you into tomorrow. Or actually, now I brought it up, so I'll invite you today. So I do these launches so that people can get to know me and the kind of work that I do, right? And I do
Okay.
this for free because it's what lights me up, and it fits another need, which is I'm looking for specific type of people to work with, right? Like in the marketing world, we call it our avatar. So my avatar can be male or female. They're spiritually minded, they're open, they're coachable, meaning they're looking for someone to give them guidance, right? They've been through struggles of not knowing how to focus. Okay.
Okay. I can relate to some of that already.
Right. And so when each of you were invited, there was a reason you were invited. When I was doing the live streaming, or I asked someone, hey, if you know someone like this, invite them. That's how you ended up in this group.
Okay.
The
Yeah, my
same
daughter
thing.
invited.
Right. She's like, this might be a great fit for my mom. And that's how people end up in my groups. This will be the 4th group that I run. But this is the 2nd time I do this specific program. So you want to develop some type of program, Linda, that you're introducing people to. So you got to decide, am I working with people in live events, or am I working with them online, right? Am I offering them my intuitive work along with the crystal stuff, or am I doing that separately? You get to create it however you want. And remember, you're not married to it. I'm sure that if somebody came and they knew that you were an intuitive and they bought a crystal and you had some intuitive hits, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be like, you know what, I'm not going to say anything to this person. This person didn't hire me for this. Spirit works that way. Does that make sense? So
Definitely.
Person, she knows, because that's another part of what I want to expand my business to, for like adult parties.
uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like if they like to do, sometimes they want to have readings and it's fun for the party. You know what I mean? So I want to implement that, but I don't mind going online either. Like, because my
Yeah.
mom and I live far away from each other, that if she wanted me to help, I don't know, do a client for her or something, or work out.
Yeah, so let's say you guys do collaborate on doing some of the readings. Your mother-daughter, right? Like that just my strategic brain literally opens up. And this is one of my superpowers, right? I'm able to see all these possible outcomes. And then I ask intuitively, what would be the most successful, or what would bring them the biggest joy? And I really go back to, how is it that I asked the question? So Linda, I'm giving you these ideas from the standpoint of your biggest worry is, what if my body doesn't want to do it that day? What if I'm not functioning that day? Guess what? This morning, I had all intentions to be on the call at the, I think we had scheduled it for 10 o'clock. And at 9 o'clock, I got a message from my assistant saying she hadn't gotten things ready. And then I got another message a couple of minutes later with a client I was going to see in my office canceling. And then I checked in and I was like, okay, God, do I need to reschedule? Do I need to change things? Do I need to stay in bed? And I heard stay in bed. And so what did I do? From my bed, I grabbed my phone and I posted a message to you guys and said, I think it said like call rescheduled to 4:30 or 4 o'clock, whatever it is that I put.
Uh-huh.
That's a prime example, Linda, of you get to really, really create your world how you want it. Are there going to be some people that are going to be like, oh, she's not dependable? Maybe. I don't know. She's a flake? Maybe. But with that being said, or I should say, and with that being said, I've been very upfront with everyone, even before they joined the group, that, hey, I'm going through some health challenges, but you can count on me being here 100% when I'm here, right?
That's a good incentive.
So you want to make people, you don't have to give them all the details, especially if it's events that you're going to, Linda. Just create your structure so you have someone there to fulfill on your behalf, whether it's a manager or an assistant or someone you hire for that day. You literally get to create your business the way you want it to be. Okay?
A lot of good ideas. I just, I have so much going on in my brain. When you got a bunch of, like, I'm bilingual. I also speak other languages. So, I'm like, how do I get that in there? But I know I'm a little ahead of myself, because I know that I have to, like, little by little, I can chicken scratch all this down, right? But I'm already getting excited, but I'm like, geez, I haven't even done it, readings in any other language or anything like that. And how do you go, about that, like the promotion and da-da-dee-da-da, and I'm already
Linda,
like,
I shared earlier that I have my brand in Spanish, where I just work with females. I have no desire for working with men in the Latino population.
Okay.
My heart wants to work with women who are entrepreneurs, who are unsure of how to use technology to get visibility. Like, I'm very fine-tuned on specifically what kind of woman I'm looking to work with in the Spanish community, like that are Spanish speaking.
That's an aspect we both fall under, for sure. I can relate with my mom. I get it from her if you haven't.
So the point is, you want to pick one area you're going to focus on first.
Right.
Build one business, build one brand. Okay.
One at a time.
Once you've got that solid and it's profitable and it's making you, it's giving you the freedom that you want, you're living the lifestyle you want with that. If you want to go play with more stuff, you can play with it as long as you're solid on one thing.
Yes. The foundation, right?
Yeah, and it's okay to be multi-passionate. It's okay for you once you've built a list of people. Like we have a little over 4,000 people in our wellness database, and we've just started messaging them and letting them know we're transitioning into doing more online teaching versus just the body work. And
Cool.
so the whole point is pick one area you're going to focus on, start to build a list. With Linda, not with Linda, with Crystal, sorry, with your daughter, the quicker she can decide, am I serving children or am I serving adults? Am I focused, let's say she focuses on the child side, what's my theme? What is the thing that clients keep referring back to me? Because she has a case load of people she's worked with that she can gather information. I didn't come up with the fact that I'm an energy expansion expert on my own. My clients kept telling me, you've given me clarity, you've given me confidence. I feel like I've grown faster than I have ever in my life, or my business has grown, my business has expanded. I'm feeling happier. And at the end of the day, I took all of these things they were telling me and came to the conclusion that, oh my gosh, one of my gifts, one of the things I'm here to do is teach people how to expand. And who believes that most? Spiritual people. I don't need to go try to convince let's say a Caucasian president or CEO of a Fortune 500 company that doesn't believe on intuition and doesn't believe in spirit that I'm an intuitive. Like, I have no business doing that. It would be me literally fighting against something that he doesn't believe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So instead, I go looking for clients in the spiritual forums who are curious about business or have a business. Much easier to build. Make sense?
That's what I've done partially why I increased my income too, because I feel like if I just feel like if I'm wanted, the right people will come. Like,
yes and no. Yes, we will attract those people, but we still are called to do the footwork. We're still called to do the fishing. I mean, think about, in the Bible, I think about, I don't even remember who the fisherman was, but Christ goes out and he tells them, oh, don't fish there, fish over here, right? And he goes and he's like, but nobody's over there. Like, there's nothing there. And Christ is like, no, go that way. Go fish over there. And the minute he listened, what did he ended up? Like, his boat almost toppled over from the amount of fish that were caught.
That's breaking.
Right?
That's breaking.
Yeah. And that literally is what happens with our soul. Like, our soul is calling for us to do something more, right? To go fish in the place that is going to literally burst our nets. But we keep going and thinking somehow, oh, no, this is the way that it's been done. Here's how I've been doing it. Here's what people are telling me to do. And I'm telling you guys, no, you dictate, you claim it. You tell, like, literally have a heart-to-heart with God and say, here's what I believe my heart is calling me to do. What is it that you want me to do, God? There's a beautiful song from a church I used to go to in Los Angeles called the Agape Spiritual Center. And the song literally says, command my hands, what must they do, right? And the song is really a prayer to God saying, God, what is it that you're calling me to do? Tell me where to walk. Tell me where to use my hands. Tell me where to use my voice. And for me, it was with you guys. And I say you guys because we're here live, but for me, it literally was, Kaya, it's time for you to teach. And I was going, no, I'm not a teacher. You spoke to me 2 years ago, I would have been like, I don't teach, which is funny because my first teacher ever told me she wasn't a guru. Her name is Christy Marie Sheldon. She's a world-renowned intuitive psychic. And I met her in 2001, 2002, I met her in Ojai, California. She was teaching a class on angel card readings. She used to be on the radio at the time. And my boyfriend, who was a very stingy man and still is with his finances, had bought tickets to this event. And when I met her, I remember at the end of the class asking her if she would teach me. And she said, I'm not a teacher. I'm nobody's guru. And we were the last ones in the building, and she was exiting out one door. I'm going out the other door. I hear her footsteps stop. She turns around. I turn around. And she says, I'm going to teach you. Here's how it's going to work. And we came closer together. And she literally said, I've never done this. I'm being instructed to teach you. I'm going to charge you $95 a call. We're going to speak twice a month. I'm going to give you books to read and exercises to practice. Okay? And I said, okay. And she left. I went the other way, and I was ecstatic because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to learn from someone she used to be on the radio at the time doing psychic readings. I never in my wildest dreams did I think that I could, over the computer, read someone's energy and do mediumship or psychic work or intuitive work. But something in her got redirected and told, no, you're going to teach. And now she's gone on to teach thousands, and I mean thousands of people, how to clear abundance blocks. So I share this to make this point, guys. Ask, right? Ask for what you believe you're here to do, but ask God and sit in stillness about what it is He wants you to do. And you find that marriage between them. Because there are times I've turned around and said to God, hey, I know you guided me to do this thing, but it's really hard for me. Like, I'm feeling alone. That's one of my biggest challenges when I do this kind of work. I tend to feel alone. I need support. And I will say the prayer, send me the people, resources, things, and ideas I need to accomplish this project. And next thing I know, out of nowhere, right? And not out of nowhere, out of the request, someone will show up. So yes, we can attract the people. We have to be willing to have the dialogue with God, and we have to be willing to take the steps we need to take. So the actions have to be consistent with what we hear, what we're being guided to do. Okay, I'm going to unmute Trisha just to hear. I'm going to start to wrap it up here. All right, Miss Trisha.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to make sure I'm including you in the conversation here. I am burning up. Like right now, everything I shared with you guys, I'm like feeling it.
I'm so sorry.
No. I'm burning up in a good way.
Oh, okay.
Just that download of information that occurs, right?
I'm just really grateful that Steve sent me to you because you, the information that we talked about before, you gave me an absolute direct line to where I need to go, because I've been manifesting for years, right? But it takes me a while to do it. But I do it, I am able to manifest, but now I have a quicker way to do it.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. This is really about speeding up through the timeline.
And I need to do that right now, and that's why I couldn't figure out why he was like, I go, are you in the class? And he's like, no, but he goes, just go, you might hear something. And I heard the most important part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what's your takeaway from today? Well,
that I'm going to be so well off next year, and in a good place in the house. I mean, this house I built and I thought it was going to be my final house. Obviously it's not. So I'm going to go on to pick my next one and live my best life with enough money to do whatever I want to do, and also do the work I want to do with the domestic violence victims.
Love it. Great. Okay, I'm going to mute you, and then I'll check in with Linda and Crystal, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. All right, what about you, Linda? What's your biggest takeaway today?
The takeaway is more clarity on how to, pick, what direction I want to go in, and then maybe in the future, how to incorporate other talents and gifts that I have,
Mhm.
which I didn't quite have a grasp or idea what it would be like.
Mhm.
But, listening to what you were saying and stuff has definitely given me a focal point. Like, just stick to this, do the program, do those steps, and then everything else will result in the bigger picture at the end of it. But just have more patience and more focus
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Great.
more faith,
Murphy.
more faith.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, thank you. All right, Miss Crystal, you're up next.
Hello.
So what's your
Well,
biggest takeaway today?
I wrote down to prioritize, figure out my income, just start doing instead of just thinking.
Start doing instead of thinking. I love that. You should post that in the group. I like that one.
I save all these little fortunes that I get,
Uh-huh.
and like one of them, and I think a lot of them would be helpful for people in the group too, just to hear, like, it says, take that chance you've been considering. To accomplish great things, we must not only act but also dream, not only plan but also believe.
Mm.
You find beauty in ordinary things. Do not lose this ability. Don't just think, act. You will overcome difficult times. You're admired for your adventurous ways. You're broad-minded and socially active. The nightlife is for you, and then your happiness is intertwined with your outlook on life. If you think you can do a thing or you think you can't do a thing, you're right. You have active mind and keen imagination. You have a deep appreciation of art and music. You have an unusually magnetic personality. Every artist was first an amateur.
Oh, I love it. Those are great ones. I've heard some of those before. Some of them I hadn't. Those are awesome. Okay, well, you have some homework. You have some homework to do. You've been doing great about posting stuff, so I look forward to seeing your post. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. All right, guys, so I'm gonna wrap up the call with this, and I feel compelled to say my name again. I'm Kaya Lopez, and honestly, it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve each and every one of you that's shown up to the calls, the ones that are watching the replays. And at the end of the day, I want to extend an invitation for two things. One, if you find yourself in a place where you're like, hey, I know I want to further develop my plan for 2020 and launch this. I do have a group coaching program that I do. It's 6 weeks long. If you're interested in that, you can definitely send me a message, and we can have a conversation around that. It's my lower cost program, and I will tell you guys the price. It's $497. It's 6 weeks long. And at the end of the 6 weeks, what you'll have is a full plan, what we call an operations manual, getting technical here. You get to work with me one-on-one. And so we have weekly calls inside of the group. It's set up as a private, intimate group. I always keep it small. I like to have no more than 6 people in the group so that I'm able to focus and have one-on-one calls with people inside of the group. And in addition to that, if you're like, man, you know what, I know some of you reached out and said, hey, I would love some one-on-one work. I'd love for you to be my coach. I do take on one-on-one clients. I only work with 4 people at a time. Right now I have 2 slots open for one-on-one coaching. If you're interested in that, you can send me a message and we can talk logistics, because that's a 6-month to a year commitment that I ask people to go into. It is one of my higher priced programs. Other than that, you know, you're welcome to stay in this group. My plan with this group is to once a quarter do the energy expansion work. And what we're planning on doing in here is also continuing to put content, not just inspirational content, but me coming in the group and sharing tips and techniques that you can do to move your spiritual business further along. So do any of you have questions around this? Hopefully it's clear. I feel like picking on Trisha's brain for a minute. Trisha, how did I do explaining? Let me go ahead and. If you could
I said you did an excellent job explaining, and I know exactly what I need to do now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I honestly would like to say the three ladies that are on here, and even Dion, who's not on here, not that I don't want other people in the group program. I would love to help you guys further develop what it is you're doing and get you to a place where you're generating income, right? Whether it's for your project or generating income from your business. So thank you for that, Trisha. I just wanted to make sure, because sometimes I'm like, hey, I hope I'm not sounding salesy, but this is really like the fine points, right? At the end of the day, I can only work with so many one-on-one people. Doing groups is a lot easier, and it's something new to me, leading groups, but I really enjoyed doing the last 6-week program. All right, thank you, Trisha. So Crystal, I'll go to you. Did that make sense to you? Do you have any questions?
It does make sense to me.
Okay.
My question about the group is, because you're talking about expanding our capabilities in our business, could, because I don't know, like I've thought about going on the light workers where I saw you at first, and I think I've been on that, or maybe it was another group one time where I did offer readings just to see if my abilities were capable. So I don't know if that's allowed in the group. If it's not, that's okay. I just wondered if that's what you meant, like.
Okay. So you mean in the mastermind? So one of the things I will tell you, one of the things that we do inside the mastermind group is each of the participants are pretty much in the beginning phases of their business, right? Or they're in the place where they're looking to expand their business. And one of the places I'm really good at getting people to expand is their presence online. And so one of the things that we do practice is figuring out what is your message going to be to the world. So if you were to imagine going on camera or going on the radio or being in front of a group, what is it that you're going to say, right? How is it that you're going to explain what you do? How is it that you're going to further package what you're doing, right? When I went in the Lightworkers live feed, and it took me practice to do this, but it's one of the things we do in the group, is I was very straightforward that I was an intuitive business consultant and that I was doing the readings for people, and that I was inviting business-minded or entrepreneurial-minded people into the group. So I was very clear. And so that way, I had no issue if it was 2 people listening in that day, or sometimes I think the most I saw was about 15. I've had as many as like 30 or 40 people at one time in the group when I'm doing the live streams. But inside the mastermind, I keep it small so that you guys can practice with each other and inside of the group. You will practice, Crystal, giving your message, whether it's recorded or on video. It's part of what I started in the group. And I do it so that when people come into my other programs, they're not shocked about video, right? They're not shocked about sharing their story. In terms of developing your abilities, we can definitely create some type of plan for you, Crystal. One of the things my mentor had me do way back when was a website called keen.com. I don't know if it's still around, but I would go on there and I would get paid by the minute to do readings. And it was just me literally setting a certain amount of hours a week to practice doing readings. So you want to create a structure to fulfill on practicing, because at the end of the day, your intuitive abilities are just like any other muscle. You want to go out and work them out, right? And yes,
Yeah.
the Lightworkers live feed is a great place to go practice. It's a great, it's a very nurturing, loving environment. I've never had a bad experience in there.
Yeah.
So yes, I still remember the first time I went live in there. I think I was on there for like 3 hours. People were like, go take a break, go take care of you. But I was so lit up, and I just wanted to keep doing more readings because I hadn't done it in a long time. So.
Yeah, I had limited myself, I think, to a couple of people to pull cards from, because I knew, like, that's why I was telling you, you're saying that you're having like brain issues, and I think it's just your brain telling you it's time to rest, because you are using connections that are hard on your system, because you're trying to strengthen the weakest parts that people don't use. You know what I mean? So your brain's like, almost overload. But I'm sure if you get the right like treatment for yourself, whether given by yourself or from others, you'll be able to knock it out.
Yeah, I have full faith that things are going to get better with what's going on with my brain, and a part of it is, neurologically, my brain is misfiring, like it's firing all these signals, and they're going, we have no idea why your brain is doing this, right? So it's an interesting journey to be on, but like I said, for me, what it's done is it's pushed me to go, okay, what do I need to do next as a transition in my business? What do I need to do next as a transition in my life, right? How do I date differently? How do I work differently? How do I still accomplish the things that I have to accomplish?
Right, reorganizing to make it manageable.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Did I ask your mom already? I'm having a total mental spaz moment here.
What is it? The focus? Like, what are my takeaway?
Yeah, well, we did the takeaway. I just wanted to make sure if it made sense, the whole, hey, I have a group program you can go into, or if you're interested in doing one-on-one work, then I have 2 slots open.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I think I'm drawn to that. To be honest with you, I believe in, ask and it is given. So I have been praying, meditating, whatnot, and so you fell into my lap, via my daughter, and it answers to prayer. Just number one. So I am not going to stop the momentum. I need to keep going, because at this point I do need to create something for myself, because I was 32 years in one niche, and now I have to do something else because I can't be on just disability. I have to grow beyond that and be more self-sustainable and use my gifts, and they work around my, they can be so flexible. I can work around my health issues.
Yeah. Okay, love it. All right, well, you guys have work to do. I look forward to having the rest of the conversation with you guys tomorrow. If you know for sure, and this is for everyone, if you know for sure you want to go into the group program, send me a message so we can schedule a call, just to make sure that it's the right fit, right? That logistics, how it works, when we have the calls, all that type of stuff. I keep things simple. I've told people in the past, I don't have like a website and landing pages. I literally do live streams and I have groups and that's it. That's how I roll these days.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Lots of kisses. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4. Peace.
Good night.
Good night.